Hi guys and gals, mostly gals, let's be honest. Today I want to talk about probably the most widely used section of Speech World, and that is the practice card section. There's thousands of practice cards, dozens of decks, lots of things to explore. And so I just want to go over some of the features. Some are very obvious ways of doing things, and then others are maybe not so obvious, but there's lots of great little tricks that if you know about them, I'm certain can make the entire experience more fun and more effective. So let's go check them out. Okay, so getting to decks can be accessed in one of two places: on this Tools tab right here, Practice Cards, or on the Parents and Quick Start tab. And you can see it says Quick Start here. It's for what it sounds like. If you just want to, you're not worried about selecting a name or doing any scoring, you just want to hop in and do a quick drill session, this is the place for you. I use this quite a bit. So you just hop in, select whichever decks you want, tap Begin,
book, and
you're ready to go. Now there's lots of features on this screen, but let's talk about that in the other section where you can access decks. Now this section is more specifically if you do in fact have some clients that you want to see on a regular basis. This is where you would go. You can add names by tapping Add Name here, and you enter their name, select the decks, and then hit Save. The program will actually remember what you assigned to them. That way, next time you go to see that client, you just have to select their name, hit Practice Cards, and go. Now, that's assuming that they work on the same decks every time. Maybe that's not true. So if you do ever want to change them, you can do so in one of two ways. I'll show you both. The first one is just hold and press on their name, and you can edit whatever decks that you've been working on. The other way I will show you as we dive into a session. So here, let's say you want to see numerous clients at once. You can do that. Let's pick two. It'll bring them up to the top. Then go to Practice Cards.
Stall.
Okay, and as you can see here, it will load up the session. Now, if you have multiple clients, you can tap this arrow to see which ones. Whichever one you tap on, it will go to. By default, it takes turns. So as you swipe,
tick,
you'll notice the client name changes as well. But say you want to do a few with Abe before going on to Ash, and he's doing particularly well.
Mash.
Just keep tapping the name as many times as you want, and then once you're ready to go on to the next one, you can either select their name or just swipe, and it will go to the next one. So the other way that you can change decks during a session is just by tapping this icon right over here, and it will allow you to switch decks and change what they are working on in the middle of a session if you want. Quite a handy feature. Next, these are obviously our scoring buttons, pretty self-explanatory: right, approximate, or incorrect. Here are some of the tools that we have. Now here, this video icon, you will find this on the mobile app. Right now this is not working on the web app, just a lot of trickiness involved with lots of different computers and web browsers. We are working on that, but for now, if you want to do recording of a session on the web app, you'll have to kind of use whatever is built into the specific computer that you have to record. But you can tap on this, and this is what you would see. This pulls up the ability for kids to be able to see themselves, record themselves, and play it back if you want. When you're done with this, you can close it, and if you recorded, it will ask you to save it, and you can see that. Next, this little screen icon, you can bring up different videos. So here we're working on ours. You want to see a video in the middle of the session to show them how to better produce the sound. You can do that. And if you want to compare different sounds, you can also bring up various decks and compare them side by side. You can switch to bring up diagrams, palette diagrams, vowel diagrams, even text on tips for how to improve. And then you can change to a front view. So say you want to show let's do retroflex R from the side and from the front. So you can put those two together and So that way they get both views. So quite a handy feature, lots of things you can do there. Next, now this gives us the card view, which is much bigger, but say you're in a little bit more of a hurry and you just kind of want to go quickly, you can go to this list view over here. And this will allow you to just go ahead and read quickly whatever the word, phrase, or sentence. And you can also score with this in this way too. So let's do, all you have to do is
horse stall.
Select whichever one you want, it'll read it, and then you can score. So, snap.
Snap.
Incorrect. I lost my goldfish.
I lost my goldfish.
Approximate. Go on like that. Now one thing I want to show you, this will be a growing feature as we go along, but you notice it says bonus cards here. We are doing everything we can to add more and more stimulus material, but there's not always a good picture for all the available words. So we add bonus cards, and if you select this, you'll notice that it increases the amount of words that you have available during a deck. Now, so they're just written words, but it will indeed give you much more stimulus material, so you can tap on it, go straight to it if you want. And then the last thing that I think is pretty self-explanatory is we have word, phrase, sentence, and then you can change initial, medial, and final. Now, if you would like, in the past you could only do one position at a time, but say you want to do initial and final, you can select both of those and it will give you
goldfish.
Both positions to work on. And then last but not least, this will finish your session. Each theme has a little music there at the end. And then you can see here that we have graphs that show progress and a list of how they did, the words that were targeted. You can either delete this session or choose to share it by emailing. So just tap share and it'll pull it up in an email and you can fire it off for anybody for practice. One last thing that I'd like to show you, say you want to really quickly send a bunch of practice words home. And not even necessarily just ones that you worked on during a session. You can go to, well, either one, but you can go to the quickest way is go to Quick Start and then select whichever decks you would like to send home. So let's do B and T here. Tap this share button and you can see that it will give all of the words that are in those decks, and then you can just simply email them to yourself, print it off, or email it to somebody for practice. So there you have it, a quick summary of how to do things within a session. I hope it all makes sense. Please, and I do mean this, always feel free to send us a note, tell us how we can improve, or you can tell us how great we're doing. Thanks, and be in touch.